Hey photographers, you want your photos to be in sharp focus. I can help with some tips, tricks, and hacks to answer all your focus questions. In this video, with hands-on demonstrations and samples, you'll see how to make sharply focused images with a Fujifilm camera. I'm demonstrating with a Fujifilm X-T30 and a few different lenses, but mostly the kit 18-55. However, these techniques with minor model-specific variations apply to all recent Fujifilm models. Their focus models and features are pretty much identical. I'll cover stills and video, autofocus and manual, including continuous burst, tracking, and focus stacking. Now, I'm going to start with easy and work my way up to complicated, but you'll only need complicated for the occasions when easy doesn't work. Usually, easy doesn't work because your creative vision goes beyond the capabilities of the camera's computerized auto system. But if I can take advantage of an automated system so I can concentrate on creative aspects of my image, I do. Start with the camera's focus switch at S, single. When you soft press the shutter button, the camera's focusing engine takes action, once. Then the C position is for continuous shooting, when you want the camera to keep focusing while you press the shutter. And M is manual. Back to those later. For now, S. That's confirmed on the screen, bottom left, AFS. Let's go to the menu's AF/MF tab. Set the AF mode to All. Press the focus joystick to activate focus area selection. Turn the front dial, which selects the mode once All is selected, to Wide. Softly press the shutter to start the focus engine. The green squares show you what the camera thinks is the right thing to focus on. That's usually a large object close to the camera. All of the areas under green squares are in focus. So if that's good, press the shutter button all the way to save the image. This simple and basic technique works for most pictures, and it works with both the viewfinder and the LCD screen. But when it doesn't work, press the joystick and turn the front dial to select one of the single point sizes, one that suits your subject. Then use the joystick to move it over the subject. Press to focus and snap. My hack here is that it's easier to move the camera than the focus point, so a variation on that means you don't need to keep moving the point. Once you've soft pressed, adjust the framing, and as long as you hold the soft press, the camera keeps the focus until you fully press. Now, when you want to return the focus spot to the center, press the joystick. Center focus is one of the old school basics, with the focus square in the center, or really wherever it makes sense to you, focus, and then compose your shot. As long as your subject is fairly static, that's nearly foolproof. Now, when your subject is a smarter fool, switch to continuous mode. That displays AFC. As the subject moves, the camera continues to focus while the shutters soft press. Use this technique for both single exposures and for burst mode. And it works fine, as long as your subject stays in the same area. So when it doesn't, in continuous, wide turns into tracking. Set the focus point where you want to start tracking, then press to capture and track your subject. Back to single. Because we've been working with the basic focus resolution, a 9x13 grid with 117 points. Now, although it's only available in single, there's an option to use a 17x25 grid of 425 points. Combine that with the smallest single point setting for super accurate point selection. Back to wide. If your subject has a human face, use the menu to turn face eye detection on and select the option. Eye auto works, but if you want a specific eye, or you want face detection without eye detection, those options are available. When the subject is out of focus, you may have to press the shutter key twice. And Although wide mode still works, once a face and an eye is detected, that's the focus engine's only interest. Rectangles will confirm faces and eyes are detected and turn green when they're focused. With the switch on S, the camera will follow the face until you soft press, then it locks the focus. With C, it will continue to focus on a moving subject. When multiple faces are detected, each gets a white rectangle, but the camera focuses on the green rectangle. Quick hack here, use touch to switch. Touch works only when the touchscreen setting is on. When zone or single area is selected, touch can set a specific focus point, but it will not override face detect. That could be annoying, but the menu isn't the friendliest way to switch it on and off. Hack this by assigning face detect to a custom key. Button dial settings, function settings will show you the available keys so you can assign the face detection feature. Then just press the key to turn it on and off. A second custom key option can be used to switch faces using the joystick. Without faces, touch selects and focuses a subject, as long as the upper right button says AF. Once you touch an object, autofocus turns off. It's like a soft press but retains the focus point even after you snap. Press the button to return to AF mode or to select another mode. Area sets the area according to the currently selected single or zone mode, or you can turn it off or use shot, which I like to call tap and snap. Now an on-screen tap focuses and takes the shot. Touch techniques work when you're using the LCD, but there's also touch for the viewfinder. First, select the viewfinder touchscreen selection area. Lots of options. I prefer the right side. And then, although I can't demonstrate this properly, drag your finger around the screen like a touchpad to set the focus area. And let's turn that off for now, because there's a pro hack here, and we're going back to the custom key assignments. The key on the far right of the upper back panel is labeled AFL. Like holding a soft press, it locks the focus. Now we're changing it to AF on. Now, when you press the key, the camera focuses. The advantage isn't immediately obvious, but if you're having trouble holding the soft press, or if the distance to your subject isn't changing, and you don't need each shutter press to refocus, it can be very useful. The technique is called back button focus, sometimes just back focus, and it's often combined with another setting, which stops the shutter press from focusing, which can be set for either single or continuous modes. With single, the shutter releases more quickly if it doesn't have to wait for focus. With continuous, particularly when combined with burst shooting, I hold focus with my thumb and release the shutter with my index finger. That's a lot of stuff to digest, and these techniques benefit from practice. Muscle memory will help you improve, but you also need to turn these into routine habits. Nothing more frustrating than pressing the shutter and the camera not focusing because I forgot to turn the shutter focus interlock back on. Not all these capabilities work in video. Of course, AFS isn't very useful in video at all, and in video mode, there are no zones or single sizes, just one focus spot size. The equivalent of wide is available. In video, it's called multi, and it focuses on what the camera thinks is the most likely subject, something large and close. Now, if you want to select the area, use area. Over the screen we go to the continuous custom settings. Sensitivity controls how quickly the camera reacts to changing subjects. Locked on stays with the station attendant even when there's a distraction. Quick changes when the train car appears and then returns. A common video technique is to change focus from one subject to another. This can be difficult if you don't have an assistant with the title focus puller, but most cinematographers don't have touchscreens and we do. Touch transitions the focus from one subject to another. That other custom setting, speed, controls how quickly the focus changes, and this setting works only while you're recording. This is the +5, or fast, and the -5, or very, very, very slow. Also note that Face Eye Detect has independent video settings, but the same custom key works for both stills and video. Fujifilm provides more assist for manual focus than most, and when the distance to the subject, particularly in a video, isn't changing, it can be the most reliable. Use the front switch to select manual, and use the lens's focus ring to set the distance using the helpful on-screen distance ruler. The blue area on either side shows the depth of field at this aperture. Press the back dial for an expanded view, often called punch-in, as an assist. Turn the back dial to change the magnification. Now, my hack here is to start to focus from the closest distance and stop when the subject is in focus. That keeps the subject at the back of the depth of field area for maximum background defocus. Expanded view is not the only focus assist. Many video shooters use focus peaking, which shows the edges of objects in focus. Settings select the color and the sensitivity. But with some subjects, it may be difficult to see the edge. And although it seems as if these are mutually exclusive, turn on the focus check, which automatically punches in when the focus ring is adjusted. Now you have both. Stills mode offers two more options: a digital split image, available with both color and black and white versions, which may be useful to some. Adjust until the lines match up. Others may prefer the digital microprism, a popular assist back in the analog days. Adjust until the squares align. When AF plus MF is activated, the camera allows manual adjustment of focus after auto is used and while the shutter is soft pressed. Now, if the focus ring always seems to turn the wrong way, there's a menu setting to change that, along with the ability to change from the usual focus-by-wire nonlinear method, where the speed varies depending on how quickly you turn, to linear, where a specific spot on the focus ring represents a specific distance. A hack makes that useful. The focus puller marks masking tape to indicate a specific focus setting for each subject. Then manually turn the ring, knowing that each time the focus distance will be exact, and that the transition is as fast, slow, and organic as you need. There are some Fujifilm lenses, like this 16mm f1.4, with marked distance settings in manual mode. The clutch changes from manual to automatic. You'll have to go to the Drive menu to find the focus bracket feature, assign it to one of the bracket settings on the dial, then select the options. Each lens and each scene will require trial and error to determine the best settings. To take enough photos with all of the tulips in focus, I use 20 images with a step of 7. Verify the photos in camera, then take them to Photoshop to stack them into an image where they're all in focus. Hopefully, I have covered it all. But if you have your own hacks, please feel free to share them in the comments. All of your photography skills, including focus, will improve with practice. So go out, fill your memory cards, and empty your batteries. And don't be afraid to experiment. And remember that the camera's reset will probably fix whatever strange and uncooperative settings you've discovered. If you do have questions or comments, one of the pleasures of this channel for me is interacting with you. Post your relevant questions and civil comments below. If you've subscribed in the past, thanks. Your interest and support is appreciated. And if you're just about to click on subscribe, welcome. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.